All right, kids. Ralphie May. Cheers.
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 I'd say pour some out, but we're inside. He wouldn't waste a drop. Ralphie May today. Dead at 45. Cardiac arrest. And as you all know, those of you who listen to the podcast, follow the death pool. Ralphie May was my... Every year, every time Ralphie May was in that, because before we started our own death pool, just joking around, sitting around with comics in LA, we'd go, all right, who's your comic death pool? Just bar talk. It wasn't, it wasn't a thing, just bar bullshit. And I always had Ralphie May back then, right to Ralphie May's face. I'm sure he had me too. At one point, when we were getting really competitive, when we started really doing research, I actually took him out. I think it was when we first started doing trade rounds. And I told him, I go, no, I took you out. He's like, man, you can't take me out. That's like your thing. like I stole his glory for always being in my death pool. So I put him right back in next trade round. So
you got a solo hit?
Yeah, today I get a solo pick. People bailed off the Ralphie May action. They went with all the whole newfangled. This year it's politicians. Oh. Well, Ralphie, we just partied with him and Bird Cloud, and who else was there? Chaille,
Andy. He smoked weed the whole fucking time.
Oh, that's right. Andy had a hard time keeping up smoking weed,
but he did.
He did. But it was kind of like a man versus food thing with Andy, where he's like, I for the first time in my life, I had a hard time keeping up.
Yeah, I've smoked with Andy a lot. It's hard to imagine.
Yeah, ask Kerry Mitchell about Andy smoking. Yeah.
Off topic.
Yeah.
That was just in the last year. We had a fucking blast at his house, and
they put us up.
He was spinning some yarns. I know we wouldn't have talked about this on the podcast.
We did.
What? Yeah. About him spinning yarns?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I already busted his balls while he was alive. I was going to wait till he was dead to tell a lot of these stories, but I guess I didn't care.
He got his barbecue. He's a good host. We had a day off.
He was a fantastic host.
Bird Cloud opened at the show that night. Yeah, it was fun.
So yeah, that Ralphie May is dead. Kind of. Yeah, I wanted to tell a bunch of Ralphie May stories, but I think they're all either told in my last book. There's some in my next book. When he drove me to do gay phone sex on mushrooms, and yeah, we did talk about the water slide thing. That story, he just. God.
He told the story, and then on the podcast, you kind of...
Well, Ralphie always got away with a lot of shit other comics wouldn't get away with. Because he's the sweetest fucking guy in the world. And even when you knew he was full of shit, he would have these stories back when he first got to L.A. Like, oh, man, you should have been at the Comedy Store last night. It was like right after you left kind of stories. Yeah, all these porn stars showed up, and I was in the bathroom, and a girl came in, and she just started blowing me. Really? Who was there with... No one was there. All these unverifiable stories. like, oh, Ralphie, you're so full of shit. And that's when he met Lana. Nobody believed he's fucking this girl, because she's a cute young comic, and... You can't physically imagine Ralphie May fucking. Like, even after he had kids, I still doubted it. They're married. They have 2 children. There's something fishy. How does Ralphie May, how does that work? I mean, Andy does bits about this. Like, physically, you got to get your... friend with a strong shoulder to come throw his strong shoulder into the meat hump.
I'm working on a project. Come on over.
So that's how this day started. I wasn't feeling too good physically, and then after that, I felt spry.
When you called to tell me, my first thought was, oh fuck, did you drop him from the death pool? Because you had talked about it so many times of every time it's trade rounds and stuff like that, you've threatened to drop him. And I thought, oh, if this was the one time when you dropped him. That was
after he got like really kind of hurt that I was gonna drop him from my death pool. I'm like, all right, I'll keep you in there. But he's always like, when I was writing the first book, he was going through all that shit with his wife, and he was texting me, I'm gonna stop taking my pills. Like, what pills are you on? They stopped the embolisms, and I'm not gonna be around much longer. Good thing you had me in the death pool. And so I'm like, working in that bomb shelter over there at the other quiet house. And at the same time, for days, he's just going through these. I'm going to kill myself. I have nothing to live for. Hollywood hates me. And so I'm half the time using that as an excuse to not write. And then when I was going through shit with Bingo, he was texting me, come on the road, buddy. We'll take the tour bus. I got massive amounts of drugs, and we'll do this and that. And like, I'm doing fine, Ralphie. But he wanted to pay me back for when I sat through he wanted me to have more bullshit than I had and wouldn't believe that it's going to work itself out. No, man, you got to come out here. Come to Nashville. We'll go to a Predators game. I get good seats. He's the sweetest guy in the world.
Yeah, that was a fun time at his house. And like I said, he was a good host. His assistant went out and got us all barbecue. It's good. I mean, a night off the road where you've got a house with, 2 or 3 bathrooms to choose from, and not like, hey, is anyone going to go in there because I need to take a shower? Yeah, it was nice getting off the road and then calling up Bird Cloud and them coming over. Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah, everyone
good
crashed
memory.
at his place.
Yeah.
Did you ever have him up in Alaska?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's in the book, too.
Yeah. Becker's got those stories.
Oh, yeah. Becker, when he moved to L.A., when Ralphie moved to L.A., he stayed at Becker's. He took over Becker's apartment for a while. I don't know how the exchange
Stayed there for
went.
a while.
And then Becker never came back from Alaska, but the phone was still in Becker's name. So there was like a giant phone bill that Becker got stuck with. And then Ralphie May comes up to play the club where Becker works. And, when it came paycheck time, gave him like 78 bucks or something. He goes, yeah, the rest of that was that giant phone bill you left me with. Oh man. Oh, Becker, Matty Becker, I didn't realize I never paid you for that. I thought we settled up on that. No, we did now.
All good.
Bitch.
I remember you, his name came up again because he was the reason that Coots started getting hotel rooms.
No, he was the exception to the rule. That's what's in the book, is when I'm talking about the band houses at Coots, where they were so run down that they wouldn't put Ralphie May. The only time Duran would go into his pocket deep enough to actually get a shitty hotel rather than put him in the band house, because he was worried about getting sued if Ralphie May went through the floorboards.
He wouldn't have made it to the door, to the threshold, because I know which one they were putting him in, because that was the only one they had at the time. And now, that landing to go inside was all rotten anyway. Yeah, that's pretty funny. And then it was something with Bill Burr because of that.
Yeah, that's all in the book, which you can pre-order, and I don't push it enough. Pre-order. This is not Fame on Amazon or wherever you get your books.
Barnes and Noble.
Oh, both of them?
Yeah.
You pre-order it both?
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
Barnes and
pre-order,
Noble in
get it
particular.
twice.
Oh.
And yes, we will eventually do an audiobook, but we want to do it. There's so many people in this book. I want to get just Dan Tosh for 10 minutes to talk about some of the old hooker stories. Dan Tosh was not complicit in any of these, but there's a few, there's so many people I want to get on the audiobook that we're going to have to go to them this time.
I was wondering if you were going to do the audiobook the same way, because that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we're going to, and this time it's going to be a lot. Yeah. We're going to have to travel. We're going to have to do some road work.
It's road stories, though. People on the tour were asking me, what's the book about? Because it comes out December 5th. And like I said, you can pre-order, but then that's when they'll become available. Road Stories is basically, I haven't started reading it. You just gave me the advanced copy last night, but That's a good description of what's going on
Yeah,
there?
that's the best description.
Yeah. So
I've been reading my stories are so fucking weak, and compared
that's a good way to sell it.
I just finally got through. I'm almost done with Manson's book, which I'd had forever, and I just found. It's one of those books. Once I start a book, if I don't complete it, if I get like 40 pages in and then I forget about it because I got shit to do, I don't want to reread the 40 pages I read. But I don't remember the 40 pages, so I just So finally, I found that book in Bingo's Hoard, and it's so good. Like really deranged, fucked up stories that if I'm a rock and roll comedian, comedy just stinks.
That's the book. You said it was like 15, 20 years ago when it came out.
Well, now that
right?
we've given it the hard sell. No, I mean, but that's the whole point for comedy. I mean, it's you know what most people's weekends are like.
Yeah. No, don't worry. There's fun stories in my book. It's just not. I'm not biting fucking heads off of things.
We're dropping entrails over the audience.
Yeah, that was fucking great.
We're saving that for Australia.
It does. It makes
over there.
It makes you go, should I do more of this shit? Like No FX book, all those great books that I read while I was writing or leading up to writing this. The fucking punk rock, heavy metal dudes. Anyway, so yeah, pre-order the goddamn book. Chad Shank is here. Brian Hennigan is here. Ggreg Chaille. We're just a week removed from the road. Chaille, you drove back.
2 days back. 2 days. No, 2 days back in Bisbee. It took us 5 days.
Yeah, a little more than that because
Wow.
fucking Tracy left her purse at a taco cabana in El Paso, and they didn't realize till they were in Deming, New Mexico, and had to drive
a ways.
5 hours. Just a little 5 hour detour to go grab that purse.
I purposely didn't look at the map, like when we turned around, because I would have just stayed another night in El Paso or Deming or somewhere. I wouldn't have driven back. It was fucked. We got back at like 11 o'clock.
How did you find? Did you realize where you left it?
Tracy's not in.
What's that?
We haven't talked about a lot of this.
Well, there was a time Hennigan brought up where we were about to go to Costa Rica,
Oh yeah.
and he couldn't find his passport, and he had to drive from L.A. to Oregon.
That's true.
You had to drive there,
Checking every place.
I was going up to see Dwight Slade just before Christmas on a social thing, basically.
Yeah.
And because I had to travel with my passport because I had no US ID at the time. I was just a tourist. Mm-hmm. So I set off just before Christmas. It was the Christmas of the tsunami. You know, the big tsunami. And Doug was staying in Playa del Rey, and I got all the way up to the Oregon border, and it was like snowed out. They wouldn't let you go any further.
The pass was snowed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there was no way into Oregon at all. So I just had to drive back. And then I drove back and I come back and where's my passport? So somewhere between Playa del Rey and not getting into Oregon, I had lost my passport. And I drove all the way up from LA to Oregon, stopping at all the places I stopped at, asking if someone had found a passport. And somebody had handed it in to to a post office in this bumfuck hotel town that I stayed in over one night.
Weed? Was it Weed,
I don't know
California?
where it was. I remember at the time, because everyone was being stopped there, and this is like slightly before the internet, because it was the last town before you couldn't get over the border.
Yeah.
And the fucking proprietors of that hotel were gouging people so badly, like it was like a 1-star Motel 6, and it was $160 or something. And it was like, you cunts. And then my mood.
But they mailed your passport.
No, not them. The post office did.
All right.
The post office
someone
did.
tried
And
to
I
get-
wrote a letter to Barack Obama or whoever was president at the time. That's not a joke. I wrote a letter to the
Tell them what
to the
douchebags
president.
the
No,
hotel
I
guys
wrote
are.
a letter to. I thought how high up and how low down can it get? So I thought I'll write to the president and say what a great person this was that found my passport. And so I had no idea if I got passed all the way down the chain, but I did it.
The only time I wrote a letter to the president was
No, that doesn't. Like,
Well,
I'm wondering what sort of foreign understanding Brian has of our government.
Because the president of the United
Get
States.
this to the Johnson family right away.
Yeah, but because the president of the United States is the head of the postal service ultimately.
I lost a wallet when I was a kid driving home from Alaska when I got out of the Army. Stopped in California to visit a friend that I had met in the Army and had to use a phone card at the phone booth at that time and had set my wallet on top of the phone booth to punch in the phone card numbers. Called him. He told me where to meet him or he was going to meet me in the parking lot. Yeah, that's what it was. He was going to meet me in the parking lot there and then I was going to follow him back. Hung up the phone, met him in the parking lot, ended up saying, hey, forgot all about my wallet sitting up on top of the thing. We went, visited. Wasn't until later the afternoon we went to eat, and I was like, oh, I'll pay. Oh, shit. And I realized right away what I did. And he goes, man, somebody just got shot in that parking lot like last week. That's not a good area. You're fucked. And I'm like, well, let's go back over there so I can look in the trash cans and stuff and see, with my ID and, what's around.
Left, if there's something left.
And the first thing I did is went inside the store that was right there and asked them. They said, describe it. I described my wallet. They turned around and handed it to me. I had like $2,000, which is all the money I had when I got out of the Army, cash in my wallet, all still in there.
Wow.
Yeah, I was so lucky.
great.
Yeah. I did not write a letter to the president.
Yeah, see, that's
I
going to bite you in the ass at some point.
I did logically ask the lady if the person who was still there, or if she knew who it was, if could she please pass on?
Did you ask who's the president of this gas station?
Because that might actually get to the person if she's a regular and she knows the cashier. That's logical, but
what I'm saying was logical. It was chain of command. I was following chain of command.
God, nobody will drop the ball before it gets down to the.
No.
2.5 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes after we had left and turned around to go back to the Taco Cabana, shift change has already taken place. So anyone we're giving the $20 to for, hey, thanks, you guys, we really appreciate this. The person's probably not going to get it. But same thing, all the money was in there, everything was ship-shape. Yeah.
So that was your excuse for not tipping.
But that's
we tipped them.
All right.
No, we tipped them, but it's like it's a shame because we don't know who did it. But you got to.
Oh, I know.
it's got to be that. Like that's the most not disconcerting. I don't. But they were driving from South Florida. Like it's almost as long a fucking drive as you can do in the States, and they're that close to home. Yeah. Deming is almost near the turnoff to get to Bisbee, and then you go, fuck, we have to drive back 2.5 hours. I remember my mother when my grandmother had a cottage on Martha's Vineyard, and we'd go there for a week every summer, and my mother was coming to pick us up, and she's a single mom at that time, and she went the wrong way on 495 or whatever it was and didn't realize it till she hit the New Hampshire border the opposite way. And that's just fucking small potatoes but in New England, yeah. And she was in Haverhill, New Hampshire. I remember when she realized she went the wrong way and just burst into tears. So we're waiting for mom to pick us up and she missed the last ferry and she was just wiped. And that's just like an hour and a half the wrong way. But you guys, after a fucking 5-day trip.
Well, what happened was we ended up back in El Paso. I'm like, it was early when we left because we had breakfast tacos at Taco Cabana. I recommend, pretty good. We're in El Paso.
Taco Cabana. Every time we hit Texas driving fucking east, and the first time I see a Taco Cabana, the entire Texas trip is Taco Cabana. And I'm making up song parodies for the entire fucking thing. It never has ended. That's for the 20 years I've been playing Texas. Yeah.
But being back in El Paso, I go, well, it's not quite rush hour. Let's hit the Spirit Halloween store. checked because they got a different inventory than they do in Sierra Vista here. So checked out the pop-up Halloween stores.
Did we ever talk about that on a podcast? Johnny Dare?
Who?
Johnny Dare, the morning guy in Kansas City.
Oh no, I don't think we did.
Johnny Dare, he's a friend of mine.
What city was that? I was just talking about
Kansas City.
Kansas City, that's right.
And he's like, I every time I have to do call-ins for a book, I don't do morning radio at all anymore. I'm not in the town. Call-ins suck, but I always do Johnny Dare because he's been around forever. He's a cool guy.
15, 20 years the guy's done the morning show in that market.
Oh, yeah, at least.
Well, that's what I read up on him because
Where is this at?
Kansas City.
It was right before we met up with you in Denver.
We had an off day too. So we got in there late that night. I'd driven 600 some miles that day. We blew through on an off day. And then that night we knew we were going to do, Doug was on the fence about it. He goes, now me and Andy will get up in the morning. Chaille, you don't have to get up because they had to get up at like 6 in the morning to drive over.
I said, I'm going to try to come in to studio. It's like a 30-minute drive. We're out by the fucking airport. And I go, I can't guarantee you. It's been a long day. I'll do a phoner if nothing else. But I woke up because we went to bed early. We got shit-faced happy hour and went to bed. I was up at 6, even earlier. I was up at 5.
Yeah.
We drove in, found the place. My eye was all fucked up. I could barely read street signs. Andy's having to read the exit signs. What's the GPS say? My contacts are still gummed together. So together in the dark.
I don't know why I thought for some reason, because of your issue with getting nervous driving lately.
Oh, yeah.
I thought,
Not getting better.
Andy will drive. And now I'm thinking to myself, what a fucking idiot I am. Of course Andy's not going to drive.
No.
First, until you just said that, I just assumed Andy took over the driving. Of course
No.
not. There's no way Andy would drive. Well, now I feel bad for not getting up.
No, you did your you did your due diligence driving that 600 miles. But it was really weird because he's showing me pictures of his house, which is like a amped up version of this place, all FunHouse style-y.
Like on the
weird
break
shit.
when you guys are chit-chatting in between like songs and stuff? Yeah. So off
during
air.
a break.
Off air.
And he's showing me pictures of his house and all. He's got all this weird shit. And I brought up that, you know, the haunted house stuff. And he goes, oh, I go to this haunted house thing.
The convention in
I
St.
go in
Louis.
St. Louis
Yeah.
in March. I go, Chaille, my tour manager, him and his twin brother, they do that because they have Ghost Ride Productions. And he goes, Ghost Ride, they're the best. And then he starts showing me pictures of shit he's bought from you at that convention. I'm
Full
like,
stand-up
fuck.
character, the Moss Man.
That's when I thought
Big
you should have
favorite.
got up and been there because you guys would have taken over the whole morning show.
He had some great stuff. And I talked to my brother about that too, because it's really cool when people talk about it organically like that. And my brother's like, who is that guy? Who is he? Where is he? And because we want to make sure he comes by the booth next year at the show and everything. And so it's Johnny Dare in Kansas City. I can let him know where it's at. So yeah, it was very, very cool.
Yeah, that was a good morning.
He has a bunch of stuff. Not just Ghost Ride. He's got, I mean, that place looked like a oddities museum or like a roadside attraction place.
Yeah, be a fun place to hang out.
Yeah.
Swap notes. Yeah. All right, I want to. Before we go any further, I got the most beautiful email. I'm gonna have Chad read it.
Do you want to take a break and then do that?
Well, yeah, we could take a break.
Let's take a break because I got so many commercials.
All right, good. Let's take a break and do a commercial. And
You want to
piss.
tease it when we come back?
No, I'm not going to tease it because I
already did.
Yeah, it's. If you ever saw Being There, no, that's not even a good comparison. We'll get to it. Please hold.
You know about the perks that come with owning your own business, like financial freedom, being your own boss, and having more control of your time. But maybe you're just not sure where to start. All of this can be yours when you open a UPS Store franchise. The UPS Store has over 35 years of franchising experience and was just ranked the number 4 top franchise to own by Entrepreneur Magazine's 2017 Franchise 500 list. The UPS Store offers stability, the support and reputation of a world-renowned brand, and a proven business model with all the training and marketing support you need to make your entrepreneurial dream come true. Stores are available in large and small markets across the country, and their franchising experts will help you find a location that's just right for you. Plus, there's financing for those who qualify and special programs for military veterans. The time to promote yourself to business owner is now. Visit the UPS Store franchising.com/Stanhope to get started today.
One more time.
Visit the UPS Store franchising.com/Stanhope.
How does taps go again?
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Ralphie May is dead, but ProFlowers isn't. This would be an easy time for me to say, hey, send flowers to Ralphie May's bloated dead corpse. But why? Don't send flowers to dead people. It's Castle Rock Kenny's 40th birthday, and nobody even remembered. We're sitting here poring over Ralphie May's untimely death. And when I say untimely, I mean I've had him in my death pool for at least 8 years. Send flowers to someone who's alive, who doesn't expect it, like Kenny. You send him to 212 Van Dyke Street, Bisbee, Arizona, in care of Kenny, and I'll get him to Kenny. He won't give you his real address because he lives in a really shitty neighborhood with shitty neighbors and tweakers and fucking illegitimate children and all these problems he has. He would love a bouquet of flowers that he would re-gift immediately. He'll tear the Kenny tag off and give it to his girlfriend and go, yeah, I worked really hard this week so I could buy you flowers, honey. Please don't throw me out of the house. It's a dangerous neighborhood. Send flowers to Kenny or anyone who doesn't expect it, who's alive, who deserves it. Don't send flowers for a wedding. A wedding has a fucking billion flowers. They get tossed aside because they're all worried about the blenders and the fucking Vitamix. Yes, send flowers to a lonely asshole. Our fans. Follow my Twitter feed and see the guy who he has 6 followers. He only signed up. And go, hey, can I be your friend? What's your real address? I'm not going to kill you. And then send him flowers. Say that was a very funny tweet. Guy with 6 followers. Send flowers to someone who doesn't expect it on a day that doesn't matter. And just make someone's day. The worst person at work. Maybe he's a dick because no one ever fucked him. And send him flowers and watch him not be a dick for a day. Sign it with the boss's name. Send your coworker flowers from your boss, the worst employee there, and just watch them over the cubicle wall. Watch how they react and gesticulate. Send ProFlowers. Give them the details, Chaille. And I want to hear your stories about actually doing this.
You bring up a good point, Doug. It being fall and all. I mean, that sounds more like an April campaign.
There's probably a paper trail involved with that.
Yeah. It being fall and all, sending the best-selling cinnamon cider roses to someone who can't smell. that would Ralphie May, it would be a waste. But for Castle Rock Kenny, his girlfriend would love from ProFlowers.
Oh, I thought you were saying to send them to someone who can't smell.
No, I say
yeah, that's what I was laughing.
And then film the reaction video like they do with those people who put on the glasses where they can see all of a sudden or something.
My point was earlier on, before we bleeped all that Ralphie May, I mean, he can't smell the cinnamon.
Oh, gotcha.
The cinnamon cider roses, nor can he eat them. They probably smell delicious.
Oh, Ralphie up in heaven, grazing like a bull, eating all the heads off the tulips.
All the cinnamon cider.
Do they have tulips? What do they have, Chaille?
Actually, right now you can go with classics like 100 autumn blooms or a dozen autumn roses. And it doesn't matter what you order because you're going to get 20% off any of ProFlowers' unique bouquets of $29 or more just by being a listener to the Doug Stanhope podcast.
Is that the beat?
No, usually now you say something.
Oh,
that I have
this
to
is
cut
where
out.
I say something snarky, like, yeah, fucking, yeah, send flowers to, see, I was going to go real dark there.
ProFlowers bouquets are guaranteed to stay fresh for at least 7 days or your money back. And you control the delivery date.
It's good to have control. I don't know. Yeah, send flowers to people that you hate.
You went so long on that first tirade. I think
I know. I
you
got
hit all the-
everything out.
yeah.
You just have to hit the beats. There, I highlighted them in pink for
Yes.
you. I printed them off.
Oh, okay. ProFlowers gives you more bloom for your buck. Big, beautiful flowers, more stems for your money, and long-lasting freshness.
To get 20% off all bouquets of $29 or more, go to proflowers.com and use my code Stanhope at checkout. That's proflowers.com, code Stanhope. It's a secret code. Don't share it with your friends. All right, if you haven't bought your tickets already, if you haven't decided to road trip, if you don't know that this will be the best weekend of your life, October 26th, it starts the All Things Comedy Festival. It's podcasts, it's Kreischer, it's Burr, it's everybody on the All Things Comedy Network. And we're going to kick it off Thursday night, October 26th. The Doug Stanhope Podcast with Brian Hennigan, with Chad Shank, with Ggreg Chaille. Tracy will be there. Bingo will be there. Becker's going to be there. Fuck, it's going to be crazy. It starts the 26th. That's our only hard show. That's our show at the Orpheum Theater. Tickets are available at allthingscomedy.com.
Bert Kreischer's doing a Call-In Sick to Work show on the 27th. Bill Burr's
We'll
doing
be
the
drunk on the 27th there.
Bill Burr's doing the Monday morning podcast on the 28th. Jimmy Pardo's doing the Never Not Funny podcast on the 29th. Plus, there's at least 4 or 5 other shows.
There's
Kreischer's
tons of
doing the show 1 p.m. the day after Doug's.
Yes.
So you can.
Well,
Yeah,
he'll be sober.
Perfect. We'll be waking up about that.
Bert will be
waking
sober.
up.
No, this is big. This is Bert's big test. This is Bert's big test.
Oh, he didn't give himself a out from the Sober October for that?
You tried to wise him
I'll be
up.
his designated drinker. I won't say a word. I'm not going to bum rush. I'd sit in the audience and heckle if he didn't let me on, but I'll just sit there silently and be his designated drinker. This is not just a festival. We're hanging for this. We're going to be there for the whole goddamn thing. And our special guest, I'll reveal it now.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? I want people to catch up. If they don't know Jamie Kilstein, who disappeared off the face of the planet, Jamie Kilstein and I go back to when he started. I have great stories. And then he had this arc where he got... If you want to catch up, listen to Jamie Kilstein on Joe Rogan. He was trying to call some guy out, and he was getting into mixed martial arts, and then Rogan kind of called him out. I remember us sitting in the van on the road, maybe Spartanburg, South Carolina, one of those weird fucking places, and it was so compelling. And Rogan's podcast lasts forever, and we sat and listened. Didn't even check in. Pulled up in front of some fucking Super 8 and sat there in the fucking breezeway and listened till the end. And then it goes on to he's a social justice warrior, and then he gets busted for some infidelities, and it's kind of like one of those televangelists, Jerry Falwell kind of situations, and it got weird. And
It was rape culture. That's what the buzzword going.
that
was the Rogan thing. Yeah, I was trying to remember.
that.
There was a huge kerfuffle with all that.
But
Yeah.
then he just disappeared. And I texted him a couple. I texted him during the Rogan thing, and I texted him when everyone was coming down on his head. Cause I feel bad for anyone who's in one of those situations where you're like, and they don't know how this is going to be fucking fun. I've talked to him a few times, and it's gonna be fucking fun.
He seriously has disappeared on purpose.
Completely underground, and he's coming back, and he's got a fucking story. It's gonna be good. This is the get that I was teasing when I had Kreischer in Denver, or Kreischer had me. however you look at it. So fucking don't take the day off of work for Kreischer. Take the week off of work for the entire All Things Comedy Festival. Because, yeah, I don't know about anyone else. I don't know who's staying how long, who gets in when. We're going to be running roughshod all over this motherfucker. Bingo's going to be there. Tracy and Chaille. Fucking Jenny's going to... Chad, you're bringing Jenny up.
Yeah.
And fucking Becker. What a perfect wild card.
Well, John's coming down from Alaska, too, so we're going to do some recording the Near the Wild podcast as well.
Oh, good.
Because we're bringing all the equipment. I mean, we might be doing the live podcast on the 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Phoenix, but we're bringing all the gear to podcast all fucking weekend long on our own dime in our own location.
Oh, shit.
And there's comedy shows. Who knows what we get roped into? It's going to be absolute utter chaos. I might lose some friends.
That's October 26th through the 29th, the All Things Comedy Festival at the Orpheum Theater in Phoenix. Go to allthingscomedy.com for tickets.
Spread the word, kids. All right, let's get back to this. Do you want to bullet point that? I'll say it again.
It's fine. I started over.
All right. Let's get back to this. Hennigan's wandered off to take pictures of the moon. Fuck him. All right, this is an email that it just registered with me for its complete simplicity. Sincerity. Go ahead, Chad, with the golden pipes of audioshank.com. Please read, what's his name?
David Yeary.
David Yeary.
Subject, peace movement. Came up with the idea for peace movement while listening to one of your podcasts. I'm a nobody, 40-year-old loser from Redneck, Indiana. It seems to me that big movements are the way to go these days. The problem is all of these big movements are causing more problems than they're solving. So I have decided to start a peace movement. You are my favorite celebrity and figured if I could get you in on or get you to start the peace movement by posting about it, it could take off like wildfire. In my mind, there is no reason that a peace movement couldn't go a long way in this day and age. I am sick to death of all the divisive shit going on in the world. Who better to spread the word of getting along than celebrities? Maybe I'm wrong to reach out to you first, but you seem to be the most accessible and the most level-headed, and the most, sorry, that made me choke. And the most level-headed of all public figures. The thing is, Doug and company, you have heart and care about people. As much as you rail against the status quo, I'd bet my life that you just want everybody to enjoy what time we have on this planet. I have no illusions that peace movement will solve all or any problems, but hey, it's a fucking start. Love you and Bingo and the crew. Peace movement. Pass it on.
Pass it on, David Yeary. You know what? In the wake of all these tumultuous times, what happened in Las Vegas to Ralphie May, we really should take a look at what you're saying. He says in this day and age, big movements seem to be the thing. Big movements, like peace. Why not? Why not start a peace movement?
It's so simple. Peace.
It's peace. And but it's going to be a big movement where
we could have marches, peace marches.
Oh, wait. See? He started a dialogue where, like, if a lot of us went out and, well, I guess you can't just be peaceful, but if maybe we talk to other people about peace.
Well, you got to know who to talk to because some people will just punch you in the face. I mean,
that's who you have to talk to. People who aren't peaceful.
Ugh.
Maybe to avoid getting punched in the face, you could get like a placard and a giant Sharpie and write your message so they could see it in traffic.
You could come up with like a symbol, a peace symbol that people could wave around and show that they're peaceful.
Right. We need. We're gonna need some kind of graphic designer,
Some kind of icon.
Yeah, something catchy.
someone who's,
Immediately look at.
Says peace.
Yeah.
and that way people would know you're peaceful.
Part of the peace movement.
And again, celebrity driven. David Yeary, I'm gonna give you full credit for this, but I think I'm not the celebrity to drive this. I think the memory of Ralphie May, Vegas strong. I'd go heart strong, but his heart was what killed him. Someone did actually tweet that at me. My heart goes out to you, and I wanted to go, probably bad phrasing. So yeah, I'm going to get behind David Yeary's simple yet brilliant idea of a peace movement. I think it starts now.
Yeah.
I think I start laying off the rhetoric. I won't make any more jokes about Las Vegas.
I've been completely peaceful since reading this. I feel like I've started the movement.
That's why I wanted you to read that first before you tell us your story about being holed up in the woods with loaded weapons. Chad had a bad day.
Well, I've had some bad days.
Yeah, no.
All right.
We were on the road.
I don't know where to start the story.
We don't keep in touch when we're on the road. So we were on the road
when you're
basically
home.
2 full months. Well, you come over. I'm home. If I'm home for a week, you're here for a night. That's more than I've seen any.
I like it.
But I'm saying you're one of the people I see the most. I don't even see the fucking Chailles. They're doing fucking making gardens. Stay away from them.
So I was having some bad days, and Jenny started talking about maybe going to the hospital and checking in for a little while because it was worse than she'd seen it for a while. So, and I really didn't want to fucking do that.
So you have probably father knows best kind of a home life where you have the grandkids over and you milk the goats and you feed the waterfowl or whatever. But your conversations at dinner are different. Honey, maybe you should check into a facility before you kill a lot of people. Yeah. Well, I don't know, Blanche.
I'm just telling her I've got it, but she's, well, I know you usually have it, but I don't know, seems different in some way, and maybe you should go. I don't want to get on medication is one of the big things. I'm deathly afraid. So
I thought have you been off and on medications?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I've taken just about every medication, but I haven't been on them for a bit. I fixed it with solitude and weed, and then I don't need medication because I don't have any problems. That's whenever there was music playing earlier, and I got all aggravated. And that's when I realized that, I live at the end of a dead-end dirt road, and I don't really deal with anybody. But despite that, I was fucking homicidal, and I was having bad times.
Let me just stop you. That is kind of the premise of almost every 70s The Hills Have Eyes kind of horror movies, where someone breaks down out in the desert, and it's the last house on the left, and they get a knock and has to use a phone, and it's Chad Shank with a hatchet. Go ahead. That just ran through my head.
It's run through my head a bunch of times, too. So, my cousin that I don't talk to a lot, my cousin Ryan, he listens to the podcast. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
He texted me and asked me how I was doing randomly, and I was like, I think I'm getting ready to go check in. He was like, man, fuck that. You don't want to do that. Which was all I needed to hear, But he did, instead of just saying, fuck that, don't do that, he goes, fuck that. He goes, just take off and go camping or something. Just go out in the woods by yourself. And I was like, bingo, right on. I'll do that. That sounds like a
perfect idea.
Great idea. So I just packed up shit, my Ranger, and I went up the hill from where I live. And not too far. But it's real nice. It's like 7,400 feet up there, surrounded by pine trees. It's real quiet other than the first night when I got up there was a group of people came up partying.
Did the black guy die
kids.
first?
Or a guy in a red shirt.
came up with real loud bass music, and I was all fucking angry white guy at first. Like, oh, fuck, I'm gonna have to listen to this shit.
Sorry, I'm rapid cycling. They should make the horror movie The Hills Have Eyes from The Hills Have Eyes point of view. Like, who are these fucking people?
Yeah.
We live out here in a nuclear place.
I have escaped you on purpose so I don't hurt you. This is fair. You're fair game as far as I'm concerned. Dude, hey, don't get ahead of my story, would you? But the first night I was like, nah, just fucking, this is what you've come here to do, is learn how to fucking deal with things. This is something you don't normally deal with this. And then they ended up playing a big fucking wide variety of good music, and it was a night that, you know, it was fun. I enjoyed listening to their music and fucking staying over there by myself in the dark like a weirdo. And so the second night...
That was a giant fucking tent, by the way.
So it's a tent that I've had since I had all the kids. So that used to house me, Jenny, and 4 kids, and however many kids they brought camping with us.
You tweeted the picture. I thought it was your own doomsday prepper tent that had bulletproof.
That's a 16 by 14 tent called the Vacation Home. It's badass. We've had it forever. It didn't seem like overkill when we had a huge amount of people, but now it's the only tent that I have, and when I go by myself,
it's got a basement with MREs
ridiculous.
and a lot of rounds.
You were on a platform too, didn't they have a deck or something?
It's a National Forest campground.
Yeah,
So
that's a better way to run those tents, because there's so much room in there that you can set things out and have a nice level surface. Is pretty cool.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why you have to keep your shit all locked up tight, because there's bears all over up there, which is why I had a weapon, because I had to tell Jenny I have to take a weapon. Because there's signs all over the place saying there's bears. Also, as you're driving up, there's signs all over saying that there's smuggling activity. So there's bears and Mexicans all over these mountains. You have to take guns.
Oh, if you see a really high bear.
He just ate a smuggling Mexican?
Yeah. He ate a bale.
I would way rather meet a smuggling Mexican, because I would trade my 2 packets of jerky that I brought and get some of his weed.
And you don't want to meet a bear with the munchies.
Or jerky. So the second night I'm up there, I have that explains why I have a pistol in my pocket. So I have a 40 caliber pistol in my pocket in case I have to walk around, and it's pitch dark up there. And now there's nobody up there. The campground is completely empty.
Oh, the DJ left.
They left middle of the night before, after their party was done. So it's been completely quiet. I love it up there. It's, like I said, 7,000 feet, pine trees, beautiful up there. 30 minutes drive from my house.
Still summer, so...
It was chilly at night, but it was fun. And so I'm sitting. I have a fire, but my fire's already burned down to just a real low glow.
Embers.
And I'm sitting in a lawn chair far enough back from the fire that I'm basically just sitting in the pitch dark. And I took my little golf cart Ranger up there. So I've got it pulled way up next to the tent, because I had to run a cord to blow up my air mattress.
Sure.
So... Point is, I'm telling a shitty story. The point is, the reason why I'm telling that is because my parking spot, where the parking spot goes for the campground, is completely empty, because my Ranger is parked all the way up by my tent.
And you're sitting out of the light of the fire. I'm sitting
out of the light of the fire, in the fucking dark, with a pistol in my pocket. All of a sudden, a car pulls right up and stops in front of my tent. Now, mind you, I have left my house and went to the most secluded place that I can, because I'm homicidal. And now somebody pulls up and stops, and I'm just thinking, just hurry up and go. Whatever you're stopping there for, go. Just, go. And their car dies. As soon as they stop, the car dies. Guy gets out of the car, opens the hood, and I can tell there's something wrong. He's probably loose battery connection. Every time he does something, all the lights come back on in the car, and then it clicks back off, and it goes. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I don't want to talk. The main thing I'm thinking is like, I just want these guys to figure out what's wrong with it, because I can help them get out of here. And I will, because I want them to get out of here, but I just want them to get out of here without me having to deal with them. So I'm just sitting there in the dark, hoping that they'll go. Then he's yelling at somebody else in the car to try to start it. They can't get it started. And then a woman gets out of the car on the phone and starts fucking yelling. Probably not, but it's middle of the woods. And we just chased some motherfucker up here. I think we might have ran him off the fucking road because we're all the way at the top and he's not over here. We're gonna fucking kick this motherfucker's ass. She's like they're like cholos. I don't know how to do a good cholo voice. I'm not that far into my audiobook training. And if I would have did it more, it would have been racist. But they, so I'm like, oh shit, just please move on. Don't stay. And they still can't get their fucking car started. And then I hear the female tell one of the guys, hey, check that out. And the guy shines his flashlight into my parking space and goes, hey, there's not even anybody here. And I'm sitting in the fucking dark over in the thing going, oh, just go away. Just fucking leave. Just please leave. Get your car started and go. And meanwhile, this guy has his flashlight on and he's walking towards my tent. And I'm waiting. What I'm doing is waiting until he gets close enough.
I can see your hand is already on your gun.
I have my gun out of my pocket already, and it's on the slide. And I'm just waiting for him to get close enough for maximum effect whenever I rack the fucking... Because it's going to be louder than that bitch's voice in the fucking stillness. And before I could get it, he fucking flashlighted my Ranger and fucking turned around immediately and went back to the car. And... they got it started a second later, and they took off. And I never got.
There was a sense of urgency all of a sudden.
They jumped it off pure adrenaline.
Just roll it backwards. You're on a hill. Jesus.
Red on the right testicle, black on the left. Ground it.
They probably just put it into neutral, gave it a push, and made engine noises.
Flintstones.
Sorry, I had to step out there because the fucking smoke was like my eyes were watering. It's incredible.
Yeah, I know. Well, we have Joby and Jonathan here of what's your Twitter? Borderland Bread. Joby and Jonathan, who's been on the podcast, they've branched from bread into pizza now. At the farmer's market, if you're in Bisbee, stop by the farmer's market on Saturday at Vista Park. And this is the fucking best pizza in Bisbee.
It is fucking amazing.
Fucking
phenomenal.
amazing.
It's good bread, too.
Oh, it's like, you don't, often with a pizza, you eat the crust or the bread with a sense of fucking, oh, I have to. But this fucking crust and pizza and everything is amazing.
I've been trying to. I had a piece, and I've been trying to stay away because it's so good that I know I'll just keep fucking eating the shit out of it.
I've eaten 3 pieces, which is more than I eat in a day of food, because food it's not my. But you know what? Ralphie May, we have to celebrate him. We can't do that just by getting hammered and doing Adderall. We have to eat as much pizza as possible.
There's a lot of pizza over there. All right.
At Borderland Bread. Follow them even if you're never coming to Bisbee, because it's going to make them look cool as shit if they have fucking 10,000 followers.
Yeah.
And Joby also runs the Celebrity Death Pool, where I'm now in second place because I did have a solo pick on Ralphie May.
Wait, I got bumped?
Yeah, I bumped you with Ralphie May. I'm sorry. You're not carrying right now, are you?
Who's first? Is it the same person?
Jack and Dino is fucking first.
By quite a bit.
I called him at his school, and he answered with kids screaming in the background. He's a teacher. And I go, yeah, climbing up on you now. He hadn't heard.
Damn.
Dang. All right. Let's just, I don't even want to break. Let's go into another commercial.
MVMT or Brooklinen?
MVMT. I'm going to tell you the truth on this one, Chaille. You can read the bullet points, but I'm going to tell you the truth. You said something about MVMT where I thought you said that we were no longer doing commercials for them. Like they dumped us. I don't know how your business works. I don't want to know.
Yep.
And I was going to do a free commercial in separation. Hey, I still fucking love MVMT. My old Timex still hangs there under a very racist symbol, like an old Aunt Jemima thing on the wall. And I put the MVMT on, and I have not gone back to my old I wore this for 20 years, Timex Indiglo, because this is a badass watch. And I was gonna do a free commercial, which I shouldn't say, because
No, you
they'll
shouldn't.
dump us every week.
Oh, what I was telling you was I was explaining that I had bought a watch right before we went on tour.
I don't know. I hear things and I think
I know.
they're right. I don't remember, so I was wrong.
What I'm saying is when I got back from the tour, it was sitting here and I realized I bought the wrong watch. I was down to 2 and we were leaving and I just fucking ordered the one I thought and I called him up today. I didn't even call him. I just texted through some customer service portal and a guy immediately emailed me and said, what's wrong? Here's the process. He sent me a label. I just slapped the label on there. They're going to replace it or I'm going to do the exchange. And that was it. Took me 2 minutes to do it and they're paying for shipping both ways. So I'll have my new watch probably in a week.
Tracy, not just the purse. She lost her MVMT watch on the road. And just like that, you got some fucking days in, quality in, stupid in, mid-range. We let Brian Hennigan book it in. They mailed it back. But you know what? It's worth it.
Yes.
I like the MVMT watch. And people on the road have noticed that I'm wearing the fucking thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They go, you're not full of shit. Fucking saw the watch. Simple, not gaudy. There's nothing that's more embarrassing than someone wearing a fucking like a Rolex, like the gaudy. Like, it's not a piece of jewelry. I use it to know how much time I've been on stage.
The beauty is movement watches start at just $95 and at department stores you're looking at $400 to $500. I mean, that's the range.
Yeah, they're cool. They tell the time,
Yes.
and it doesn't make you look like an asshole, like you're fucking wearing bling.
No, but I would say it does look sharp. That's because Jenny picked mine out, and whenever you wear it, like it's a sharp looking watch, is what I would describe.
Clean
It's not-
design is what they write here, and I know that's exactly what Doug was talking about when he says people
You
notice
see me
it.
at the merch booth. You show me your fucking movement. I'll show you my movement. We'll fucking bump fists. It'll be a gang sign.
Get 15% off today with free shipping and free returns by going to mvmt.com/Stanhope.
Movement. You'll know when I fist you.
That's not the one.
That's not the. I
That's
thought that
not
was
it.
the catchphrase.
Movement. Where's my watch?
Now is the time to step up your watch game. Go to movementwatches.com/Stanhope and
Join the movement.
Join the movement.
It's kind of like the peace movement.
but with watches.
What time does the peace movement start? Oh, I'll look at my movement watch and the peace movement. I tell you, this peace movement, it's catching on.
Brooklyn, we got those sheets right before we left, and they're the ones at where you're at. Did you put them on?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I stole one of the pillowcases, by the way.
you stole one of my Brooklyn
Well,
pillowcases?
I didn't steal it. I wanted to try it.
How many did they give us?
I think you get 4.
So I can only have 3 people sleep with me. Brooklinen, good sheets, good sleep. It's the most important thing in the world. I remember I came up a young broke comedian. I slept in cars. I slept on couches. I slept with women of a certain size. And I realized that sleep is, the most important thing. The most important drug in the world, dreams. Therefore, the most important thing in the world is your bed and the sheets that you put on it. I've talked about this. We live in a place where your best sheets you can get are at Target. And that's an hour and 15-minute round trip to get to a Target. And their best sheets are shitty. Might be colorful, but they're shitty. Only thing I love about the road is staying like Holiday Inn Express. I'm not going to fucking bifurcate the plugs. They're all about sleep. They have the best pillows. They have the best shit. Fuck you, Holiday Inn Express. You also fucked me over on a smoking charge. So I'm all over the map. Brooklyn and sheets. It's like sleeping in the silky, what do fucking caterpillars live in?
Cocoon.
Cocoons.
Cocoon. What's that called? That's a fucking funnel web of a wolf spider. because we haven't cleaned this house in a long time. It's like sleeping on the inside of a ball sack.
Ooh.
The beauty is Brooklinen cuts out unnecessary markups and manufacturing waste in order to offer exquisite designs and exceptional savings across their entire collection, Doug.
When you check into a decent hotel and you slip into a bed that's freshly made and you go, ooh, I want to stay in this bed for the full 20 hours I'm allowed to be here. I just want to, and that's what Brooklinen is like. I actually make my bed because of these fucking sheets.
That's actually what their initial goal was to try and find some kind of a consumer bedding product that was similar to what you get when you go to a fine hotel. And that's what the husband and wife team that came up with Brooklinen, that's what they did.
I'm sold on these Brooklinen sheets. I've said before, sleep is the most underrated form of suicide prevention. I use sleep a lot to avoid my own self, and these sound fucking great. I'll try.
And you don't have to drive to Sierra Vista. They'll just deliver them to your house, cut out the middleman, and they're worth it. And again, I have had sponsors of other sheets contact us, and we go send them out. And we sent them back. I go, I'm not promoting that. They're
That is
shitty.
true. I remember that.
Target sheets. Yeah, fuck that.
Hey, Brooklinen is so confident that you're going to love your new sheets that they offer a risk-free 60-night satisfaction guarantee and a lifetime warranty on all of their sheets and comforters. There's no reason not to give these sheets a try.
And they have that thing where, when they go into hotels with black lights to find jizz stains, these absorb jizz stains so they don't show up under black light. I don't think. I'm guessing.
And they have
I'm just
charcoal
guessing on that
filters
one.
so your farts don't smell.
Exactly. See?
These aren't any kind of an.
Hey, you know what? We did our own research.
I'm looking on this. I'm not.
Oh, we might have got prototypes.
Hey, Doug, which corner did you jizz on? I don't know which way to point the woods light.
When I pull my watch out of your ass, the blood and feces spills on the sheets. No one will see it.
Sooner or later, they're just going to tell us to read these exactly as it's written.
Good. You know what?
Hey, get 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code Stanhope at brooklinen.com.
And if you just tell me at the merch booth that you have Brooklinen sheets, I'll come home and I'll make love to you on those sheets. But don't try to fucking trick me with some bullshit Target sheets. The only way to get $20 off and free shipping is to use promo code Stanhope at Brooklinen. That's BROOK Linen, LINEN. Brooklinen. Who doesn't know how to spell Brooklinen? .com. Promo code Stanhope.
$20 off and free shipping at brooklinen.com. Promo code Stanhope.
Brooklinen. These are the best sheets ever. Fantasy football. I did a long closing bit about fantasy football, but that was about on the field ass rape. Kenny, tell us about how you're the fantasy football guy. You lose money to everybody in Bisbee, poker, fantasy football.
Well, right now,
frog racing.
Last fall, that I told you not to talk about that. Anyways, my fantasy leagues that I run, most of them I do lose. I ain't gonna lie, because it's
you lose at everything. Let's cut to the draft.com.
Yeah, Kenny, tell me how I beat you last week.
You know what? You did.
And I beat you and him. That was the.
Huh?
We've been on the
minute.
road, so we did get into a 3-way head-to-head. I haven't figured the whole shit out yet. We'll figure it out. Don't worry. As this season progresses of this football season, we're only at week 4 or 5. Yeah, we got into a 3-way, and I wish it was the 3-way you're thinking of.
That sounds hot.
Fucking Kenny And that
Okay.
lady ass. And Ggreg Chaille being all confused.
Oh my god! I know your guys' showering habits on the road. Oh my god! Just the smell in the room alone.
I know. It would be like a football locker room, like an NFL room. And that's how I bet when I kicked the shit out of you and Chaille.
You did get us on the first week. You scored 70.02 points. I came in a far second at 65.10, and Chaille was way back there.
Oh, I thought you were like 40%.
No, that was
Sure.
Chaille was 41.46.
He's got it in his hand.
I'm getting
on
better.
his app. What's the app, Chaille?
Well, you go to your app store and just search Draft, and you're gonna get draft.com.
Or on your computer.
Or on your
at
computer.
PlayDraft.
PlayDraft
People
or
have been
draft.com.
inviting me into
Yep.
three-ways.
The only way to do the only way to do the head-to-head is you have to get it on your phone. You can't do it from the computer, from on your computer.
That week, I lost all 3 bets that I placed. That was me losing.
Yeah.
But that was the first week. Then week 4, we bet. I got in 3 drafts. The first one I got in was a 3-player, $6, and I won that one, but with 99.48 points. And then I lost.
We don't need all the fucking stats, man.
Hey, look! When you want fantasy, you got to give some numbers down. So
No,
somebody.
that's the thing about this is it's so fast. I've already joined 2 drafts with your drivel. You're just reading the fucking thing in your hand. It is so quick. You get into it. You bang, bang, boom, done. And you do a new one every week or every hour or every 10 minutes. You just get on and do it. And you can do it as low as
When
$1.
we were on the road, I just kept getting into... Because I still have the beginner. When you're a beginner at fantasy football, like Chad would be.
Yeah. Well, that's what I want to know is where do I go? I want to get in a 4-way with you guys. Where do I go to try to do that?
Well, depending on, you just go to your app store
Okay.
and look, just search draft and it'll come up and we'll do it when we get done with the commercial. I'll show you. And it's real simple. And the small drafts, it's $1. It's $1 or something to start.
And for like the first 20 drafts,
yeah.
you can be a beginner and they
You can only play other beginners.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's all fucking, it's like the horse track. Come on. For
great.
fuck's sake. Everyone thinks they're a professional and the guys who sit with the spreadsheets and he's a natural mutter I steal from Andy Andrews. Yeah.
You don't have to worry about injuries or any of that stuff. You're basically like, I do a lot of auto picks, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit around and wait for other people to join. So as soon as the third person joins in, because I do a lot of 3-way things, 3-way theme here, it just starts picking for me.
Yeah.
So in place of me having to sit there hovering over my phone, all of a sudden, bam, I'm getting the top guy
You
every
can
time.
cue your
okay,
players
good.
how
And
you
the
want.
top guy doesn't matter. It's like the
doesn't.
favorite at a horse track.
Just like-
so you go,
But it's something to do while I'm taking a shit or otherwise trying
Exactly.
to occupy my head.
and another reason to watch football where you go, I don't really even like this game anymore.
But I need that guy to score a lot of touchdowns.
now you're betting
Unlike
on
Brady.
guys.
I noticed I was watching the football thing the other day, and it was like they had the announcer saying like if this person scores this amount of points, I win my fucking pool. Like they were involved in pools themselves.
Yeah.
Hey, the best
As
thing
the
is
announcer.
draft.
That
Kenny's
was
been doing
interesting.
that for years over here. He's like, I go, you're really rooting for the fucking Browns? He goes, no, but that guy I have on my fantasy football. So it brings gambling to a different level.
Drafts start at just $1, so there's a draft for everyone. You can get in there $1 level. I started winning a little bit, so I started doing the $3 and the $5, and you can go all the way up. They've got some crazy ones. in
That
there.
whole
yeah.
indie story that I'm doing in my set now about last year, about betting on shit just to make boring things better. Yeah. Ladies, I just Bill Burred it. You fucking get on draft.com and start betting fantasy and make your boyfriend look like an asshole and just go, oh, I have him on my fantasy team. You play fantasy football? Really? Yeah, no, I have Ezekiel Elliott and he just scored a touchdown. Well, how do you know what fantasy football is? Well, you don't have to know, gals. You don't have to know. You can let it auto pick. And then you just memorize the names and just shout it out. Go, oh shit. God damn it. If he'd scored, I'd have won my replay. He did score. I did win my fantasy. Who are you playing against? Some guy named fucking Charleston Trucker 23. Who's Charleston Trucker? None of your business. Yeah, cause some havoc for $1. For a limited time only, all new players get a free entry into a draft when you make your first deposit. But you have to use my promo code DOUG. That's right. Play a real money game for free just using my promo code DOUG on your first deposit on draft. Just search draft in the App Store or go to playdraft.com on your computer and come play free with promo code DOUG.
I think you should spell Doug.
No. I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You're going to get D-U-G.
Yeah.
Doug.
Oh, well, I was thinking you should do it ironically, but...
Ready?
It's funnier that he said that.
All right. Use my promo code DOUG. D-O-U-G.
Doug.
I think that's right.
Let's talk about.
We smoked Hennigan out of here. He's back in. We cleared the air.
Yeah. Holy
Speaking of clearing the air,
Whoa! Seamless.
that last tour with Brendan Walsh went somewhat seamlessly because Brendan Walsh is not like Andy Andrist where you're constantly worried, where you have babysitter mode in the back part of your hypothalamus. Like, oh, what's he fucking up now?
The glint of light in someone's ice in their drink.
No problems.
He would think there's all of a sudden he's been lighted to get off the fucking stage. Yeah. You never know.
Oh, Andy.
Yeah.
Talking about Andy, yeah.
Yeah, he's also, you're never quite sure because you could actually say, is everything okay? And ask him and go through a specific checklist and everything's fine, but you're still not confident everything's fine.
Yeah, he's still standing there going,
still going, I
gotta be here the whole time.
This is odd.
I get lazy. I let Hennigan do too many things, which he should be doing. It's part of his job. It's part of the deal.
Yeah, you've delegated worrying to me, so I worry about things.
But yeah, this tour went seamlessly. Like there were mostly short drives, but that middle stretch, it was just too many shit gigs in a row. Where I love the shit gigs, but when you have too many in a row, you go, "Is this what it's come down to? Like, is this my life? Am I really?" No, you wanted to do Mobile, Alabama, and I love Mobile, Alabama.
Alchemy Tavern
Yeah.
and that wonderful vintage store.
But we usually it's broken up where you're happy to get to an improv because you don't have to think. You don't have to go and make sure they have chairs and a microphone. But that was like 6 in a row of small towns where we don't have a market. We don't have a Pensacola market. We don't have a Gainesville. The people that show up are fine, but it was too many in a fucking row. And then I drunk dialed Hennigan. Or I drunk tweeted you and you called back immediately.
That's right, I did. Because I could
I'm like,
tell.
don't fucking book. First of all, other comics have their New Year's Eve booked for 2019 already.
You said Ralphie May.
No, it did say
Hey, maybe there's an opening.
Oh, believe
Get
me,
on the horn.
I've got a great offer for this weekend in Vegas.
Open residency.
Well, and we also have the Lavender Pit here in Bisbee, where I wanted to find a picture and tweet it. Hey, if you need a place to bury him.
Oh, shit.
Listeners, stop the podcast and Google search Lavender Pit Bisbee, and you'll get the joke. Yeah. But I think you already get it. So, yeah, I fucking, no, this is bullshit. But you're used to my meltdowns.
Well, no,
like
no,
that.
but this one was legitimate. in the sense that I was, even though I wasn't there, I was also kind of weary of it. It was like, you're right. Because when you look back at previous tours that had those towns on it, they only had 3 of those towns. And then it would be up into either down into Florida, or up into Georgia, or whatever.
Yeah, some small town, Pennsylvania, and then you hit Philly or Pittsburgh.
This was like 5 of those fucking towns in a row. And I remember when I was booking, I was thinking, I don't really like this, but it's what, going to give 3 days off in the middle? It was odd. So I know.
Driving back for over 5 days, I thought, what if while driving to Florida, we did 3 of that run, and then do the Florida dates, and then turn around and do those 3 on the way back.
But obviously, again,
that was an afterthought.
Yeah, and it's also bound by you need to get the improvs, and they're not going to give you any. We couldn't get any. You don't get weekends.
Yeah, rarely.
Yeah. So anyway. But yeah, no. When you had your meltdown call, I was actually sitting on the sofa, almost like I was waiting for it. It was like it was weird. I remember I was just sitting there, not really doing anything. I seldom sit on my sofa, but I was sitting there, and you texted, and I called immediately because I knew immediately, and yeah,
he was giggling when he booked the shit. He was waiting for it. It's an 80-seater. It's not sold out. I don't care.
Thing is, I've been making lists, or not. If I had to make a list of all the things that I really need to check from now on that a gig has, I realized that I've had to say things like, do you have air conditioning in Florida?
Oh yeah.
Do you have a stage? Do you have electricity? Oh, these are things we've turned up for gig where you think, I surely don't have to ask if they have electricity.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's a lot of, it's good except for, electricity.
Well, it was a hurricane run. I mean, we were heading right down into West Palm.
That place, where's the place you told, which gig was it where you're like, it only sells like beer and wine?
Chizuko
in Pensacola. The vegan sushi restaurant or wherever the fuck it was.
Daisy was really nice, very accommodating.
Now, there was not a venue I could really bitch about, and that one, the one I knew was going to be bad, was great.
Did they say they had a stage?
Again,
I think this follow-up question is define stage.
Well, here's the thing: those gigs were always booked with or through local comedians. Yeah. So I almost think, come on, you're a local comedian. You're doing your due diligence here. You're not,
but they don't know better.
Right?
They've never been on a stage. You've played a stage before? What's it like? Let me smell your shoes.
Hey Brian, just to let you know, when we walked into that place, this was definitely a place where you had to walk in. They sold hot sake, which was great.
Yeah. Wow.
And beer and wine. That was about it.
Please hold. The Yankees lost game 2. Fuck the Yankees. Nothing better in baseball than
Thank
watching
you, Ralphie May.
But thank you, Ralphie May, looking down on us,
helping us out. When we walked into that venue an hour before doors, they had set up the room. Now, they don't usually do comedy, and the stage was really just an upturned 2x4. So it was on edge. It was a very shallow stage, right? And they had set the room up with a little bit of seating. They put 2 like easy boy chairs, like love seats, on either side of the stage, and then a 6-foot couch, dead center, right in front. And I said, what's that doing there? It's like, we set the room up for you. I go, we can't do this. Like, there are going to be 6 people super comfortable during this show, and everyone else staring daggers in the back of their head. So I had them move everything as far the way, and even the tables. I don't want anyone to have any advantage in the 70, 80 people there. They should all be equal. And that's what we did. But it was very funny. I've never seen a couch right in front of the stage.
That explains the blog post that I read about how to set up a comedy show using only Craigslist items. 2x4s and sofas.
But the funny thing was, I remember there was a in your heartfelt phone call, you did actually bring up, said the place we played the other night, they didn't even serve booze, they just served beer, and I didn't have the heart to tell you, because it was very funny. I thought, no, this isn't time for jokes. I said, well, the only other option I was offered was a place that only served mead.
Yeah, was the only time you could have whipped that out.
Oh, that would have totally diffused the situation.
This place, they were so nice that they were going, you want a shot of sake? Because that was their hard alcohol.
Tracy drank 4 bottles of it.
Yeah. No wonder she's losing her wallets. Yeah.
Well, also the other part, the Chaille's, they make their bones off of the merch, and that was like 5 or 6 shows in a row where there's no place to sell merch. We're getting the fuck out of here, and they took a bad beat. So please, if you were at one of those shows we didn't sell merch, get it off the Doug Stanhope website, and we'll send you merch.
On the upside, you weren't fucking mugged in Pensacola.
This time.
Yeah. You didn't
Thanks,
have to
Brian.
you didn't have to get the tire iron out.
It was
Low
interesting.
benchmark.
People. That's we walk away. We didn't make any money on merch. We're still sober. At least we didn't get mugged. But people came up and asked. 2 people asked me at that venue. Did you not go back to the handlebar because of the incident in the? I think it was called the handlebar.
Yeah.
And I'm all no. That had nothing to do with the club. That was 2 fucking stranded fucking vagrants.
Since the handlebar had no parking, we had to park in a fucking dentist strip mall in the dark where some guy, when you didn't want to give him $1 for gas, wanted to kill you, and I hid in the back of the truck.
That's nervous laughter. But honestly, even the stage at Shizuko was better than the one for our purposes.
It's always the ones you're not expecting, like that one. The first gig, wasn't it? It was the first gig where you called me up and said, "Is this seated?" And I went, "Oh, it's definitely seated."
Oh, that was the second one on the last tour. Yeah. Where we got there early, and then
it was
there's no chairs here.
And I had it all in writing. It was definitely seated.
Oh yeah, you make a deal with Hennigan.
Yeah,
he's gonna call you on the carpet for it. But they did. They brought in all the chairs. They did everything that they were gonna do. Good. But they booked that Chamber of Commerce meeting mixer before it, so we couldn't really get in there and do anything. You remember that one?
Yes, I do.
DeKalb. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was a nice end of that run. Except for you having to drive all the way across the country.
I thought that
from
was
South
fun,
Florida.
man.
I know you sold me on that when we were going to rent a van, and you said, "No, I'll just drive from here to Dallas for 3 days."
But you guys do like sites. So you guys it's not like just hard traveling on the way back. You guys take your time, right?
We took 1 extra day this time to go up to Orlando.
Gatorland.
No, we did Gatorland. We took an extra day because we were going to go see Halloween Horror Nights 27 at Universal Studios. So there's huge sound stages of haunted houses.
I watched some of your drunken periscopes.
Oh yeah, I deleted those immediately. We got really fucked up. But they serve liquor in there.
Wow.
Okay. Anyway, so yes, we do. We went to Gatorland one day, and then checked into the hotel, and then went to Halloween Horror Nights and hit
Haunted
everything.
house.
Hit everything.
Nice.
Eight haunts. There were 80-minute waits to get into each one, and we were 5 minutes. We were right in.
VIP'd it in.
VIP'd. But anyone could pay for it.
Right,
it's just
right,
expensive.
It's just a VIP.
But it's worth it. We got on everything. It was fantastic.
There's something funny about waiting to be frightened.
Yeah.
It's like I've never had to wait this long to be frightened ever.
80
I'd be
minutes.
frightened by the wait.
80 minutes
That's a
to
lot.
go in one event,
Wow.
and we just walked right on.
Because you're
great.
That's
No.
why I have no interests.
I paid for everything.
no, but I mean, I see.
No, you can
sometimes-
upgrade your pass.
All right.
Go ahead, Chad.
Sometimes I hear voices, and my dog acts like she hears them too, and that scares the shit out of me. But if
yeah.
I waited for it, it would ruin the whole thing.
That'd be
So
fun.
I get what you're saying.
All right, let's tour dates. We have
Didn't you have?
we're hitting the major markets now. What? I'm going to hit some tour dates.
Oh, I thought Hennigan had a story.
No, I was going to talk about me breaking down for the billionth time in our career. My Bernie Taupin has had to hear me say I'm fucking quitting comedy and this is bullshit and don't book anything that's less than 6 months out. And well, here we go. This is less than 6 months out. November 9th, Chicago. Just go to my website. I don't know where.
Why are you doing the October dates?
October. Oh shit, yeah.
Do you
All
read
right.
them? I wrote them all down.
Okay, sorry. These are the dates that are fucked up. I haven't booked travel for yet. Okay, October. Yes, Baltimore at Magoobies. Woo! I think it's sold out. Maybe it's not.
No. There's still tickets left.
couple?
It will be sold.
Yes. That's October 12th. October 13, Austin. Spread the word.
Jay White Cotton on the bill.
Jay White Cotton's on the bill.
Great. Lulu Monkey will be there too. We saw her when we came through Austin. They're excited.
That's a pretty close drive.
Chad Shank might be there.
When Jay posted on his page, "Hey everyone, I'm opening for Doug," and I very helpfully waited until a lot of people had made a comment and then wrote, "By the way, folks, don't bother hitting him up for comps. He doesn't have any."
That's a big weekend in Austin too.
Oh yeah,
I
It's the
still
Austin
get
City
that.
limits.
Hey, can you put me on the list thing? There's no list.
yeah. There's no list.
Things got a lot easier when there was no list.
I know, because people on the list, sorry, this is another thing I go deep into in my book. People that are on a list are people that don't listen to the fucking show. And we haven't had a list for years.
Yeah. There is no list.
Fucking Johnny Depp came to Oxnard. You know where he sat? Well, actually, no, he did actually sit in the audience because we didn't sell it out. But he was in the fucking green room. So he's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Hey,
That won't fuck up the show.
If I go, it might be last minute. Can I get on the list?
No.
Yeah, in the green room.
You're hosting.
You can't be out in public.
You have to
I'm saying
host.
there's limited amounts of seats.
Yeah. I mean, I think it shows enormous respect and when you discover that people who could have been on, if there had been a list, like for your last gig in New York, there were like 4 comedians of renown who bought tickets and did not ask to be on the list.
Fucking Frankie Boyle
Yeah.
came to Glasgow and didn't even tell me he was coming, bought tickets and didn't even come to the green room to say hi. I don't think I've ever met Frankie Boyle. We've just shared these, scandals where I defend him in the UK press or he defends me.
And then
or-
you're on stage going, there was a guy in the front row who looked a lot like Frankie Boyle.
second row because I remember that show because there was a brawl that broke out in the third row and the second row didn't even turn around because brawls are so commonplace in Glasgow.
No one's got a gun.
They all just sat there polite like they're still watching fucking dinner theater.
But New York, Ari Shafir turned up, bought a ticket, like just hung at the back of the room. It's like, you didn't tell us you were coming or anything. But it's respectful. There's no list.
It's more about having the green room free and
Yes.
young comics. You have to understand if you're on the bill, like a lot of these shows, we had local comics that were doing 5 minutes, but I need to think through what I'm doing. My capacity for remembering shit. If I have one night off, I feel like I'm going back out after a year. I need the green room. I don't need a bunch of people fucking talking. I gave Houston, Mungle and Slade Ham were there. And I'm trying to be polite, but I want to hear Mungle's set and the one that gets off stage and starts talking. I want to hear the sets that are going on before me because I want to make the show as linear as possible. If they said something that I can call back in my set, I need to hear that. Green room is not a fucking party place. It's not fucking Marilyn Manson's fucking after party where they're fucking hog tying people and making them confess to sins. You got to read fucking Manson's book. I know it's 18 years old, but it's so fucking, I'm so into it. I need a fucking quiet place. So when it is, if you are on a list, that means you're in the fucking green room because you're a friend of mine, but I need you to just shut the fuck up. We'll drink after the show. Up until then.
Yeah, the only time I've actually seen you snap very angrily at someone is in such a situation. Whereas he's like, I'm with somebody who should have known better. Like, shut up.
If you're talking about the same one,
yeah.
I'm talking about, that was actually you that snapped for me.
Oh, was
and
it?
we've never talked to him since.
Oh, him. No, that wasn't him.
Oh, wow. Well, he's dead now. Ralphie
Is
don't
he?
care.
No.
That's not Ralphie
I
May.
know.
Good callback, though.
October 23rd and 24th.
Portland, Oregon. Yeah, the first one sold out.
Star
There
Theater.
is no list.
That place is great. We had a good time there last time.
It's fucking Portland is my favorite.
Yeah. I don't know which high school we have to apologize to, but that you were bumped from the Tuesday.
What?
There was some high school that moved to the Wednesday that were doing the Tuesday.
Oh, some high school was going to be at that venue.
Yeah.
And they, all right.
Yeah.
So sorry, your graduation is going to be delayed.
Do stronger pre-sales next
So
time.
yeah, the Star Theater in Portland. I'm going to be up there early. There's fucking good games on the Sunday. I'm flying up on the Saturday to watch games on the Sunday at an undisclosed location. Because, this Falcons Patriots, I think, is that night.
Oh, wow. 26th. You'll be back down in Phoenix.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's going to be a party. And then I have a week off or so. And
Tickets for the podcast, the live podcast is at allthingscomedy.com. There's a link there.
come out.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Spend the full 4 days. I'm sure they have some platinum card that gets you into everything. I don't know. Fuck, I have no idea. I know we're going to be crashing every podcast that we can stay awake for and doing our own shit. And then, fucking Kilstein. He's got a brand new set. He's gone dark. This kid's gone dark. I can't wait for this fucking
And then
thing.
we've got Kreischer falling off the wagon.
Yeah, we got to get Kreischer off the wagon, or I will be. Anyway, then November 9th, Chicago. I don't have to fucking tell you anymore. Junior Stopka will be there. I want to get that Adam Gilbert on the road so bad.
From Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne. This is
little
the kid
guy.
I was telling you about. Yeah, the little guy, littlest guy. I want to get him on the road. I got Junior in Chicago. I don't know if this guy can travel much, but Adam Gilbert, I have not forgot about you.
10th.
Maybe we should bring him to Philly. I don't know. I don't know if he has one of those cars where he's got giant brake pedals. And
There must be someone who's going to be coming to the gig from that area.
well, Junior's Adam Gilbert. The only gig close is Chicago.
Right.
But I got if Adam Gilbert, if you listen to the podcast and you show up, I'll put you on stage. But you could sleep in my twin bed, and I will.
Or the Bureau.
Yeah,
Is this a pod calling? Are you pod calling him?
I'm pod calling
We're gonna
Adam
take
Gilbert.
the Bible out of the drawer anyway. Tuck in there, buddy.
Oh, fucking Adam Gilbert. Okay, let's just blow through the dates.
November 10th, Philly.
Philly at the Trocadero.
The 13th, you're in Seattle. Is that at the... I can't remember which one was...
Neptune?
Neptune.
Is it-
Yeah,
is
the
it
Neptune.
Neptune.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, Neptune.
The 14th and 15th in San Francisco at Cobb's.
Yep.
Oh, shit. India Pearl, who was...
Yeah.
That was in Philly.
She just emailed me. India Pearl, if you listen to the podcast, I forget about my emails. I don't know who's going to be in Seattle. I don't know. Maybe Andrus. Andrus will probably be in Portland. I don't fucking know who's where anymore or who has dates. And November is a whole month away. That's a lifetime. So India Pearl, yeah, we'll see. She's the India Pearl for the listeners who know everything. She was the one. She's my ex-girlfriend's daughter that we played the whole
was it the Warren Theater?
at the
Philly? Wilbur,
in
yeah.
Boston, where she
Yeah.
when
Oh,
that
that's right.
opened.
Yeah, yeah.
She did eat her own ass.
No, this wasn't a carnival act. She's a comic.
Yeah, she died a horrible death. But it was funny because I get to go out after her and do that whole. Yeah, her mother's in the audience. My first
Family.
girlfriend when I was 16.
okay.
And I said, I've never
on
been
track.
able to say this to an opening act before, but I fucked your mother. In fact, your mother is the one who introduced me to anal sex. And I was underage. Your mother was 18. I was 16. So she technically raped me up her own ass. And it was, that's an old podcast. We played the recording of that. So yes, India Pearl. We'll figure out something.
You backed up to the
That's how
13th
I
in
answer
Seattle.
emails now too. I don't just
that's in
pod call.
Seattle.
I answer emails via podcast.
I already said 14th.
Remind me.
The 14th and 15th at Cobb's in San Francisco, and the 17th in Washington, D.C.
DC. Where are we playing in DC? Where's fucking Hennigan?
Everything will be on the site by the time
It's
this goes
on the
out,
site.
so check it out.
You'll figure it out. If it's sold out before you got there, it's because you're not on the mailing list. Now let's get to the thank yous. Hey, Bingo's book.
Guys, what's going on?
Yeah.
A lot of chatter.
A lot of chatter.
Hey, batter. Hey, batter.
Joby's here. You're trying to fucking watch Star Wars? That's why you're talking over the goddamn podcast?
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Fan of
Bingo's book. Hey, I'm just gonna leak this out. Bingo's book will be out in the next couple weeks. We will tell you, we'll have a celebration. Hey, it's out, but we're gonna let it leak out. Keep an eye out for God damn, well, what's the title, Brian? Hannigan!
It's what am I drawing a blank?
Let Me Out, but the subtitle it's called Let Me Out.
Yeah.
Subtitle is a Madhouse Diary. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all right. We're talking about Bingo's book.
Who's doing calisthenics on the roof? I think
It's going to come out in
Bingo's book will be coming out in the next 3
digital version.
digital version and eventually a physical version as well. But again, we're going to be playing it cool like we did when we had to release your book overseas initially ourselves before the publishing industry buckled under the sales pressure and took on board the project.
Here's the thing. It's coming out digitally. So you guys who are going to be eager to look for it, if there's a problem where you go, it's downloading wrong, then we can fix it. And if there's only one of you who says it, like when you go, oh, the link doesn't work, but it works for everyone else, well, we know you suck.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing about that whole thing. I know with 95% confidence, when we get a complaint about anything technical, we are always right. Because when I complain about something, if I ever sought to complain about something online, publicly about a corporation or an individual, I will at least Google a little bit and say, I wonder if anyone else has complained or tweeted about this before I fucking, launch my fucking grenade.
the president.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, you're the only person that can't buy tickets to Fort Wayne? Maybe you should look at your browser before you start telling us that the whole gig is fucked.
Signed, Spit Vitriol.
Yeah.
I love Ggreg Chaille.
Yeah. One of my favorite football players.
All right, let's get to the thank yous.
By the way, the links will all be on DougStanhope.com once it's available.
Yeah.
And
don't bother tweeting us. When's it coming out?
All right,
we'll be
I
telling you.
wrote these down a week ago, and this says football players / Hendry, which has to be Phil Hendry.
Oh,
Is that the guy, Josh in Vermont?
someone handed us a bunch of discs. Is that what you were talking about?
No, it can't
Oh.
be that, because this was shit I opened in the mail. So Josh in Vermont knows who. Yeah, someone gave us
Handed us.
at a merch booth a manila envelope full of Phil Hendry CDs, best of, and
You were tickled. You were like, oh,
Walsh had never heard
Yeah.
Hendry. They didn't work. So,
One of them did.
but this is not Josh in Vermont.
But the one we did listen to, we enjoyed. The other ones, they were just burned wrongs for our the band.
My Fair Junkie by Amy Dresner. I read that. I don't know if I've already talked about this,
No, you
maybe,
haven't.
but I read that on the road. I fucking love reading on the road. And that came to me from Ben, who does my book, This Is Not Fame, and Digging Up Mother. He said, Mishka said you'd like this. Amy Dresner never does heroin. She uses the word junkie about all her other drug things. Where she was a crackhead.
She a junk food junkie?
I enjoyed it. Amy Dresner, at the end, you turn into like a really cunty girlfriend. But spoiler alert. All right, come on. There's other books I'm not even fucking going to talk about. Mishka sent me some albums. So Mishka Shabali, who we always love, even though I was kind of a prick to him at the end of that last tour, he just got done with Bird Cloud on the Road.
Bird Cloud's
Straight
still over
Fish
there.
by Mike Knox. I feel like maybe I've already done these. Maybe these are old thank yous.
What's that one?
Straight Fish is a book by Mike Knox, and it's about a prison guard or something, but then I realized it's fiction. And then this other guy, it sounded like a great book, but I thought it was a documentary.
Here's the thing that I realized just today. I was thinking about the fucked up things that happen in the stories that are real have fucked me over on fiction. I get real excited about a fiction story, and then I'm like, oh wait, that's not real. I don't want to listen to that audio book.
You've talked.
Listen to
Doug has talked about that.
Okay, so this is that I get a email. There's another guy. He sent me. I won't even talk about it. But this guy sent me an email saying, "Hey, what's your address? I know you give it out. 212 Van Dyke Street, Bisbee, Arizona. If you Google search Doug Stanhope's address, you'll find it." So he said, "I want to send you some my books. I know you gave your address out. Can you tell me what it is?" And I said, 212 Van Dyke Street, Bisbee, Arizona, 85603.
Send it to Doug.
And I said, no fiction. So he sent me his 2 books with a letter. Hey, big fan of the podcast. Here's my books. I hope you enjoy them. I'm a cab driver in Tucson. Mather Schneider. I'm a cab driver in Tucson. Just like you asked, it's not fiction. No fiction. But it was worse. It was books of poetry. Mather Schneider, you sent me books, and I asked you, no fiction. But instead, you sent me your load of horseshit poetry. Thanks. Bukowski is an author that I would put in my top 3 because I've read 5. I would not read his poetry. Jesus fucking Christ. It's not fiction. To put it all in a fucking one sentence and make it ugh. If you like poetry, it's I read a few. It's Father Luke-ish and Bukowski-like. I read like 2 things out loud just to tell everyone in the room why I wouldn't fucking read poetry. Jesus, God damn it. Pete in Australia sent murder ballads. I don't know. Oh, that's he said I think it's an album. I wish Bingo was here. She would, if that was for you and Bingo, I think Chad and Bingo will love this. It's Murder Ballads. Is it Nick Cave? Might be. I think it was, I think
Was
it
it
was.
an album or a
I don't
CD or
fucking
something?
know.
I'm intrigued. Thank you.
George from Chicago sent some patches, police patches. They're right here. Seneca. We have to put this in the neighbor's mailbox. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Seneca
Next
is
door.
our
Yeah.
next door neighbor. It's Seneca Police Department. So thank you for that. Pineal Colada sent some pictures, but
They're the Canadians.
is that the
yeah.
Canadians?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They've
Yeah,
been on
they
the
shit.
sent some really fucking cool pictures.
She does really cool artwork. I just found her stuff found on Twitter like yesterday or the day before, and it's really cool.
She was here drawing pictures of. She did drawings of the houses, of the different houses.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Bretzels took one, and we've got one of the little houses.
Yeah.
I got a
At Pineal
really
Colada.
cool
I
fucking
followed her on
letter.
Twitter. It's really cool
This podcast is way too long, but I got a really cool card with a letter inside. The card is from a guy named Jonathan in Austin who does kind of rehab work with prisoners. which is God's work. He goes and tries to help fucking prisoners. And he sent a quick note, and it enclosed was a letter. Fuck it, I'll read it. I'll try to read it fast. But yeah, this is right after I fucking heard about Ralphie May dead, so I was a little easily touched. I pretend to not have, or I believe I don't have any feelings, and then one creeps up on me, and I take drugs.
So who wrote this letter?
A prisoner. This is one of the guys. He says, to say this is fan mail would be like calling a silk sock soft. It is, of course, you should, but it's also so much more. You should know I'm writing this to you from a prison. Yeah, pretty much the most unfunny place in the world. And guess what? I got top bunk. I was introduced to you by my meditation teacher. That's what Jonathan does. He's a meditation teacher through a recording of your performance across the street. Badass, by the way. For the 30 or so minutes we listened, I watched a dozen guys slap themselves on the thighs, wipe tears from their eyes, and roll around on the floor, pantomiming happiness. That's poetry.
Yeah.
Pantomiming happiness. From your hilarity. For 30 or so minutes, we weren't confined to our own disasters. We were as free as our laughter, and Mr. Doug Stanhope, you can't buy that. I've never written a letter to a famous person, well, besides God, but heaven apparently has no forwarding address. I've always been a George Carlin fan, so I'm confused whether to be pissed about how much I've internalized your work. If there were one thing I hope to hear in this is some small sentiment of sincerity filled with a great gratitude for your voice and your heart and mind that directs it. Forgive my cliche, but prison appreciates fine art. I must away for giving me both the chance to hear you and to speak with you. I believe the word we've made up is thanks. Oh, darn if I don't. Oh darn if sorry, this guy's handwriting. He's not on a fucking computer in prison. Oh darn if don't you hate when you forget your own name? I'm Doc, by the way. Pleased to meet you. Peace. Peace. He signed it. Peace.
Peace movement.
He's in on the peace movement.
Do we have Doc's address? Because I think we might have a pen pal for the podcast.
No, but I have Jonathan's phone number, and he says he has a couple of guys that he's gotten out of prison and mentored that are coming to the Austin show. So I will. Let's end the podcast. Do we have anything else? We'll end the podcast, and I'm going to call that guy with a blocked number and say, yeah, I'll meet his prison friends after the Austin show. I'm a sucker for fucking prison. It shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Going to Austin, Chad.
But there's no one on the list.
No one on the list.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Who do we play out?
Bird Cloud's winning the poll on Twitter.
Bird Cloud, I talked to him today. They were, obviously upset with the Ralphie May thing. I have Bird Cloud in my phone as Bird Cloud,
Yeah.
so I always say, hey, Bird Cloud. I don't know which girl is talking to me. They're in Italy doing their last show, 41 straight shows.
Yeah.
Last night was in Slovenia. And then they get the news about Ralphie May. So, they're coming home. The kids are coming home to roost. The birds are coming home to roost. Play out Bird Cloud. No, bro, wait. No, we gotta go with the Mattoid. The Bird Cloud, they lived with the Mattoid. We gotta fucking, come on.
What?
Funeral party.
Oh.
Ralphie May. The Mattoid funeral party. Because you got to go to the funeral party.
1, 2, 3, 7, yeah! Right on, baby. The priest is here, and the casket is ready. Body inside looks nice and steady. Let's play it for the man For the last time, played for the man. Farewell, played for the man. For the last time, played for the man. Praise the Lord, and we got to go on with the funeral party. 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 Yeah! Alright. Now the priest is talking, and the casket starts to move. Everybody's crying. We all got the groove. Let's play it for the man. For the last time, play it for the man. Farewell, play it for the man. For the last time, play it for the man. Praise the Lord, and we got to go on with the funeral party. 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 Yeah! Alright! Everybody cry! Praise the Lord! Yeah! Praise the Lord, and we got to go on with the funeral party. 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 Party, 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 party.
The distant sound of an Englishman talking about pizza.